Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
That breaking news takes us right to the Beltline, I-440 near Glenwood Avenue. This crash absolutely shutting down 3 of 4 lanes there. We're working to figure out exactly what happened. I'll let you know some alternate routes to avoid this area.
And more breaking news. The man accused in 12 shootings in over 4 days along I-40 and parts of southwest Raleigh is behind bars. The charges he faces ahead of his first court appearance today. We're also learning he was a student at NC State.
And dense fog advisory in effect for just another hour. We're definitely seeing sunshine in places, but I'll show you where there is some fog lingering.
Plus, Durham School of the Arts is moving. We'll tell you about the groundbreaking happening this morning for the new location in downtown Durham. Certainly a lot of stories that we are catching you up on that happened overnight, including, we just mentioned, the arrest of 23-year-old Andrew Graney. We'll get to that in just a second, but thank you so much for waking up with us here on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Happy Friday to you. Starting off a little cloudy behind us over Dix Park, but it's going to be a pretty nice day. We are dealing with some fog right now as well. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner shows us who's seeing that fog.
So we do have the dense fog advisory in effect just there until 9 o'clock. We're still seeing about half a mile of visibility around the Triangle area. A lot of folks are seeing partly cloudy skies right now, and so we don't have a lot of fog left. As a matter of fact, even though it's gray here over RDU, we would consider this to be low cloud cover and not fog. Visibility here is at about half a mile, and we're seeing similar situations around the area. We've seen a lot of low cloud cover and fog in Durham, and we're seeing some of that in Apex too as we take a look down Salem Street. It's a warm start this morning, 67. Our dew point way up at 65, so it's warm, it's muggy. We'll see a cold front crossing the area late this afternoon. It'll bring with it only a 20% chance of showers, so most of us don't see any rain today with that front, but it will be warm. A high of around 80 degrees. That's close to a record high. I'll show you why these warm temperatures are not likely to stick around too long coming up in just a minute. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that breaking news right now on the Beltline I-440 right there on Glenwood Avenue. This is what I'm talking about. When you see purple show up on the traffic map, that means that section of roadway is closed. So I-440 eastbound there, Glenwood Avenue closed all the way back to Wade Avenue this morning because of this crash. So let's take you out courtesy of our live cam network, show you exactly what we're talking about. All these lanes are shut down this morning. The only lane that's open, because if you're familiar with the exit Glenwood Avenue off of the Beltline, you know it's an exit only lane, and that's likely what these folks are doing right now, just getting off Glenwood Avenue. You're coming in from Garner, you're coming in from Apex, anywhere you're coming in from this morning, avoid this northern loop of the Beltline and just stay on the southern loop of the Beltline. That will help you avoid that. For many of you, you can also take I-540 as an alternate route this morning because we're seeing the congestion also building in those westbound lanes starting around Capitol Boulevard this morning. You're getting ready to head out. Stay with us on the radio. We'll keep you updated. 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle or 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
All right, thanks, Ken. Breaking news just before 1 o'clock this morning. Raleigh police announced the arrest of a 23-year-old man in connection with a string of shootings on I-40 and at homes. Andrew Graney here is facing charges in the spree of 12 shootings over 4 days in southwest Raleigh and in Cary. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Wake County Justice Center. Kelsey, we are just learning also he is a senior at NC State. Michelle, that new information coming in within the last 20 minutes about 23-year-old Andrew Graney. He's expected to appear here in court in just a few hours. Our cameras were there when Graney was charged with multiple felonies overnight, including assault with a deadly weapon and discharging a weapon into an occupied dwelling or vehicle. This all connected to a series of shootings along I-40 and southwest Raleigh this week. One woman was hurt, 8 cars and 4 homes were shot at between Monday and Thursday. Sky 5 captured this video as more than 24 officers arrested Graney in a southwest Raleigh neighborhood. Now, another man was taken into custody, but he was later released and wasn't charged. Graney is scheduled to appear here in court at 1:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
NC State's campus actually saw additional officers because of this situation. Yesterday, students received a wolf alert about cars being shot at. It happened very close to the Centennial campus. Students say they feel safer knowing police have someone in custody. Some of them told WRAL they took different routes to campus to avoid I-40.
And as police were investigating the shooting on Trailwood Drive, a report of an active shooter forced the Governor Moorhead School into lockdown. Sky 5 flew over the scene around noon yesterday. Police determined that to be a false alarm, and there was no threat found.
We are hearing from the people whose vehicles were hit by those bullets on I-40.
And I heard a big explosion, and glass came inside on the right side. I had no idea what happened.
Shannon DeFries, you heard from there, had one of 4 cars damaged by gunfire on Wednesday. Here's another look at the map of where these 12 shootings happened. You can see just how expansive this is. The shootings began on Monday, and throughout the week, people had their cars and homes shot at along I-40 and around Southwest Raleigh. The shootings happened as far east as Centennial Ridgeway and into Cary up to Trinity Road.
This morning, Durham Public Schools will break ground on the new Durham School of the Arts. The new school will be built on Duke Homestead Road near Stadium Drive. Last year, the district approved $240 million to move the school there from its current downtown location. Officials say it would be cheaper to build a new site than renovate the current building. The groundbreaking will happen at 9:30 this morning.
Josh Stein is sharing the names of the people who will help him transition from the Attorney General's office to the governor's mansion. Stein defeated Mark Robinson in the governor's race on Tuesday. Stein announced the names of 6 people who will help him hire staff for his new administration. The team includes the Department of Justice Chief of Staff, the mayor of Asheville, a former state senator, and more. You can read the full list at WRAL.com.
New this morning, NBC News projects President-elect Donald Trump has won Nevada in the presidential race. The announcement came around 12:30 this morning. Trump did not win the state in both of his previous runs for the White House. This is the first time since 2004 that a Republican has won Nevada. The state went for George W. Bush that year.
Some history already with President-elect Donald Trump's administration. He has chosen Susie Wiles to be his chief of staff. As Amy Kiley reports, she will be the first woman ever to serve in that role.
This signals that the second coming of Trump presidency is going to be very different.
President-elect Donald Trump says he's naming his 2024 campaign manager Susie Wiles as his White House chief of staff. The decision is historic.
She's the first female chief of staff, which when I heard that today, I was like, wow, like that has never happened before.
Wiles is a seasoned Republican strategist and lobbyist. She's also one of Trump's longest-serving advisors.
Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background.
Trump credits Wiles with helping him win re-election. He says as chief of staff, she'll make the country proud.
Chief of staff is very effective if the feeling around Washington is that chief of staff has the confidence of the president. And the fact that they've developed this close relationship, very important.
A source says Wiles had conditions for accepting the second highest job in the West Wing. The person says she wants to control access to the president to prevent unofficial advisors from swaying him.
This is really setting the tone for the entire administration because it is clear that she is someone who is taken seriously in Republican circles, particularly not just the MAGA side of things, but also the establishment side.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Trump's transition talks are ramping up as he works to decide who will serve in his cabinet. He is said to have several options for Secretary of State, including Senator Marco Rubio, former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, and former Ambassador to Germany, Rick Grenell. Trump may consider Congressman Mike Waltz or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to lead the Department of Defense.
Governor Roy Cooper will visit Western North Carolina this afternoon. He'll attend a recovery meeting with local leaders in Morganton today at 1 o'clock. Days ago, the DOT announced it hopes to partially reopen I-40 in the mountains by New Year's Day.
Your time is 8:08 this morning. A potential school shooting was stopped in Wisconsin. We're going to walk you through what authorities did to prevent what could have been a deadly attack.
And dozens of research monkeys escape a research facility in South Carolina. What to know about the trials being done at that center and the warning to people who might come in contact with these primates.
And taking a look at downtown Raleigh, some cloud cover has just rolled in, and we'll talk about what our chances are for rain today with a cold front.
Looking really nice in Wilson this morning. As you look live at the whirly gigs, they don't seem to be moving very much. We're also tracking some fog in certain areas. A dense fog advisory is in effect for a lot of us right now, Elizabeth.
It's almost over. We still, it expires at 9 o'clock. So we still have about 45 minutes left. We're seeing some pretty big changes. Still some places showing some low cloud cover, not a whole lot of actual fog out there, which would reduce visibility. Around the Triangle area is where we've seen most of it this morning, and it's a half a mile. We would consider fog to be a quarter-mile visibility, which could cause some slowdowns on the roads. We're really not seeing that right now. Here's what we are seeing. This is a look at North Hills, and you can see the buildings. And so we know that the visibility is okay, but you can definitely tell there's clouds out there. So we call that low cloud cover instead of fog. We do have a disturbance that's going to be swinging through. We have some cloud cover with us right now, but once we get past lunchtime, that will move to the south. There could be a quick sprinkle with it. You can see that closer to 5 o'clock this afternoon. And then we'll see some clearing through the afternoon and looking at a really nice day for tomorrow, but turning considerably cooler. We'll see some more changes as another front comes in late Sunday into Monday. That's going to bring us our next best chance for rain. So here's Futurecast starting off early Sunday morning. Saturday will likely be nice and sunny, but Sunday we'll see increasing clouds. And late in the afternoon into the evening, we begin to see some of the precipitation moving into our area. A lot of that will fall overnight and into the first part of the day on Monday. And of course, Monday is Veterans Day, and there may be some ceremonies or events you're planning to attend. Note that it's probably going to be wet in the morning. The afternoon looks a little bit drier, if that helps for your planning for the day, but we may still have a few lingering showers even into the evening. So late Sunday into Monday, our next best chance for rain, about a 60% chance on Monday. We definitely need the rain. For the last 30 days, we've only seen anywhere from 2 to maybe about 15% of our normal rainfall. So we are way behind, and the drought monitor is reflecting that as well. Abnormally dry conditions across the state covers 93% of the state this week compared to 67% last week. And the change isn't better. Instead, we went to the northeastern counties in North Carolina all the way back up to moderate drought. So our drought situation is getting worse and may get worse before it gets better if we don't see a lot more rain. Hurricane Rafael, the news here is good. Of course, a lot of damage to Cuba. It is a Category 3 hurricane right now, but it's just going to wander out here in the Gulf of Mexico and dissipate before it makes landfall. That will happen by early next week. So nothing to worry about really with Rafael, and only a 20 to 30% chance that we get more development here near the Bahamas in the next 7 days. 7-day forecast looks fairly interesting. It's a very warm day. Today will be close to a record high, and then turning cooler Saturday and Sunday, a little wet for Veterans Day. And then we start to see some cooler temperatures. I know a lot of folks are wanting some fall weather. It looks like we could see that next week, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we're on top of breaking news here in the WRAL Traffic Center on two fronts. Let's start with this one that we've been monitoring now for the last hour or so. This is a serious crash at I-440 eastbound near Glenwood Avenue. You can see the huge delays it's causing in both directions. This is courtesy of a live cam network. You see exactly what we're talking about. 3 of the 4 lanes are shut down this morning. Basically, it's a parking lot out there. Just the only lane that's open is that exit-only lane off the Beltline onto Glenwood Avenue. You're coming in from All Points South, or you're coming in from Garner. Use the southern loop of the Beltline this morning. That will be your best bet. We have a crew on the way to the scene. We'll let you know exactly what's going on as soon as we know. The other breaking news we're following here is in the eastern part of our community. The left lane is blocked there on I-87 in the southbound lanes near New Hope Road. Again, courtesy of our live cam network, you see the crash right there. Raleigh police just showing up on the scene. We are working to figure out exactly what happened in this particular crash, but you can see a couple of vehicles there on the side of the road. And again, Raleigh police just showed up, 1 lane blocked right there. I would get off on Hodges Road or even Smithfield Road, take Pool Road, and avoid what's happening there in that southbound lanes of I-87 this morning. You're getting ready to head out. Tune us in on the radio. We'll keep you updated, especially if I-87 is part of your commute. 101.5 HD3, you can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
Thanks, Ken. This morning, fire conditions are improving in Southern California as winds fueling the so-called mountain fire start to die down. Officials say at least 10 people have been injured in Ventura County, mostly from smoke inhalation. More than 130 structures are destroyed and nearly 90 are damaged after the wildfire ripped through the area over the last 2 days. As of this morning, the fire has burned over 20,000 acres and is 5% contained.
President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation plans are already seeing protests. A group gathered in New York last night to protest against Trump's proposed agenda. They held signs with messages including "Protect our communities" and "Immigrants are New York." They say they will continue fighting for the rights of undocumented immigrants in New York.
And this comes as a federal judge struck down the Biden administration's parole in place policy. The Keeping Families Together program gave legal status to certain undocumented people who are married to U.S. citizens. In yesterday's ruling, District Judge J. Campbell Barker said Congress had not given the president authority to implement it. In August, 16 states filed a lawsuit to block the program. This is one of several challenges to Biden's policy that the incoming Trump administration will likely refuse to defend.
Police are searching for more than 40 monkeys that escaped from a research facility, and that happened in Beaufort County, South Carolina. I want to show you a picture of what the monkeys look like. They escaped from Alpha Genesis. The company works with monkeys to carry out clinical trials, and that includes trials for brain disease disorder treatments, but it's unclear if the monkeys were exposed to any of the diseases. We've been looking to see if updates for any captures reported overnight, and people who live in the area have been told to keep doors and windows locked.
More dairy farm workers caught bird flu than the numbers reflected in official counts. According to a new study, 7% of workers on dairy farms where cows were infected with bird flu caught the virus themselves. The CDC now says all workers on farms with infected cows should be tested, even if they don't have symptoms. There have been 46 human cases of the virus reported in the U.S. this year.
The FDA wants to remove a popular ingredient from some cold medicines. The agency says there is proof that I cannot pronounce that, PHENYLEPHRINE. It does not work. It's usually found in decongestants like Sudafed, Dayquil, Robitussin, and more. Its effectiveness has been debated for years, but large clinical trials have concluded that it's not effective when taken orally. The FDA will hold a 6-month public comment period before making a decision to ban the drug. Prosecutors in Argentina charged 3 people in the death of former One Direction star Liam Payne. Investigators say he fell from the 3rd-floor balcony at a hotel in Buenos Aires on October 16th. A hotel employee and a suspected drug dealer are among the 3 people being investigated. Charges include abandoning a person following death and supplying Payne with drugs. Payne was 31 years old.
A 13-year-old has been arrested in Wisconsin after police say he walked into an elementary school carrying a suspicious bag. The teen entered Roosevelt Elementary School yesterday morning with a black duffel bag and a backpack. He was quickly questioned by school staff at the entrance. That's when the teen fled the scene when he was approached. Authorities were able to verify the suspect's location, and they were eventually able to convince him to surrender. Police said their investigation revealed that the suspect shared videos and made several comments to fellow students for weeks leading up to Thursday.
We narrowly missed a tragedy today, and we're just going to re-encourage everybody when they see something, say something, help us out, have those talks with your children. These videos shouldn't have been seen by us today. This should have been reported to us earlier.
And the school was placed on a secure hold. Police did not confirm if a weapon was on the team at the time of the confrontation, but they do believe that firearms were inside the bags he carried.
Days after Donald Trump won the presidential election, books such as 1984 and Fahrenheit 451 were flying off shelves. The Handmaid's Tale also hit the top of Amazon's best-selling books. Sales for Margaret Atwood's novel surged nearly 7% yesterday, according to Amazon. In just one day, The Handmaid's Tale skyrocketed to 3rd place from its previous ranking at 209. Now, if you didn't know, the theme of those 3 books regarding totalitarian governments. That's what this is all connected to. It falls behind former First Lady Melania Trump's memoir, Melania, which sits at number 1 on that list. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, is ranked at number 5. And the world's top 10 richest people got $64 billion richer from Trump's reelection. According to Bloomberg's Billionaire Index, Trump's biggest supporter and the world's richest man, Elon Musk, saw the biggest jump. His wealth went from over $26 billion to $290 billion. Jeff Bezos' wealth grew to over $7 billion nearly a week after defending his decision to withhold the Washington Post's Harris endorsement. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett also saw increases. However, they never endorsed a candidate.
5 on Your Side is talking taxes now to save you money later. Tune in on Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m. for Tax Pros on Call. This event is all about tax planning. Federally licensed, enrolled agents will be taking your calls about everything from adjusting your withholdings to dealing with penalties and changes to tax law. Best of all, it is completely free. So get your questions ready and call Tax Pros on Call this Wednesday. Well, it's beginning to look a lot like the holidays at Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh. This morning, Santa will be arriving at the mall along with the Salvation Army angel tree. Starting today, families can line up to tell Santa what they want for the holidays and get a picture. Pets can also meet Santa every Monday night leading up to Christmas. We are officially in that season, I guess. Well, racist texts are being sent to Black Americans across the country. Why some believe they are connected to the results of the election.
And a shooting spree in the Raleigh area ended with a man arrested. How investigators caught the person they believe is responsible.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Ken Smith is tracking some major backups on 440, Ken.
It is a big mess on the eastbound lanes of 440 near Glenwood Avenue because of a crash. You can see basically the parking lot that's happening right now. I just saw a tow truck just show up just in the last 10 minutes or so trying to get to the scene, which is around the bend. 3 or 4 lanes are shut down right now in this section of the Beltline near Glenwood Avenue. Just the exit-only lane off of the Beltline is open right now. I will continue to monitor this and have an update for you at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
And we still have a dense fog advisory in effect for just a little while longer. There's a lot of cloud cover out there right now, but we're really not seeing visibility down to a quarter of a mile anywhere, at least showing up here. And I'm not seeing it on the cameras. This is low cloud cover here in Apex, but it wouldn't be considered fog because it's not affecting visibility. It's warm out there. Fayetteville seeing some sunshine and has already climbed to 71. Otherwise, we're looking at 60s this morning. We'll climb to around 80 degrees this afternoon, which is way above normal, almost a record.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A Raleigh man is facing charges for a string of shootings along I-40 and in southwest Raleigh. 23-year-old Andrew Graney has been charged with 1 count of assault with a dangerous weapon and 11 counts of firing a weapon into an occupied vehicle. He will make his first court appearance later today. We're also learning this morning he is a student at NC State. And Durham Public Schools will break ground on the new Durham School of the Arts today. The new school will be built on Duke Homestead Road near Stadium Drive. The groundbreaking will happen at 9:30 this morning. Next on Fox 50, who's helping Josh Stein transition into the governor's mansion? And next on Today, a look at fall bestsellers.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
That breaking news happening right now on the Beltline. We're talking about I-440 around Glenwood Avenue because of this crash. Right now, we know that 3 or 4 lanes are shut down because of the crash. I'll let you know some alternate routes to avoid this shutdown.
And breaking overnight, we have our first look at the man arrested and charged hours ago in connection to a series of shootings in Raleigh. This morning, we've got a live report on the capture of Andrew Graney.
And we still have the dense fog advisory in effect, but we're not seeing a whole lot of fog. I will show you where you'll see some clouds, and we'll talk about when we could see some rain for part of the weekend.
Also, today, Durham public school leaders will break ground on a new location for Durham School of the Arts. What students and staff can expect in that $240 million facility. It's going to be quite the facility. We'll tell you all about it coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Yeah, a lot of talent going to be formed at that school there. Yeah. We're going to go to our own talent right here in the WRAL studio, Elizabeth Gardner. She's talented. She can predict the weather.
Y'all are super talented over there now, too, Dense fog advisory still in effect until 9 a.m. This comes through the National Weather Service, and as long as it's up, we'll definitely keep showing it to you. But we are looking at visibility starting to improve. We went from half a mile to a mile in the triangle, and we would consider a quarter of a mile fog. We are looking at a lot of cloud cover, low cloud cover here in Apex, but we would consider that low clouds and not necessarily fog. It is not causing problems for visibility. It's a little breezy here on Fayetteville Street. We take a look courtesy of our Jimmy V camera. Cloudy skies here in downtown Raleigh and 67 degrees with a dew point of 65. So it's warm, it's moist. We have cooler air on the way with a front that comes through late this afternoon. Just a 20% chance that we could see a little shower along with it. Before the front gets here, it's a warm one, 80 degrees, a little bit on the muggy side, and we'll see variably cloudy skies through the afternoon. I'll show you how much more comfortable it will feel behind this front coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're following breaking news on two fronts. Let's start with this one here on 2 lanes blocked on the eastbound lanes of the Beltline this morning around Glenwood Avenue. You can see it right here. We got delays in both directions, but mainly the eastbound lane. Courtesy of a live cam network this morning, this is what it looks like right there on those eastbound lanes of I-440 on Glenwood Avenue. You can see this outer lane beginning to move, but at least 2 of those lanes are still blocked. The exit-only lane coming off of the Beltline onto Glenwood Avenue, that's still open this morning. I just saw a truck show up about 15 minutes ago, so they're making movement in terms of clearing this scene. But if you're coming in anywhere from Apex, Cary, even Garner, Johnston County, use the southern loop of the Beltline this morning and avoid what's happening on that northern loop of the Beltline. The other breaking news we're following is in the eastern part of our community. We've got a lane block there on 87 in the southbound lanes near New Hope Road. This is what that scene looks like right now. They've moved it into the median, but you can see at least 1, 2, 3 vehicles there involved in this particular crash. At one point, 1 lane was shut down, but again, you can see right now that all the lanes have reopened there, and they're working to clear that scene. Listen, if you're getting ready to head out this morning, things are constantly changing. We'll keep you updated on the radio. Listen to us at 101.5 HD3 anywhere in the Triangle.
Breaking overnight, just before 1 o'clock this morning, Raleigh police announced the arrest of a man in connection to a series of shootings at cars and homes. Andrew Graney is facing felony charges in 12 shootings over the last 4 days around Southwest Raleigh and along I-40. As WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains, we're learning that he is a senior at NC State.
12 shootings in 4 days, and now 1 man is in custody. 23-year-old Andrew Graney is expected to appear here in court later this afternoon. Our cameras were there as Graney was charged with multiple felonies overnight, including assault with a deadly weapon and discharging a weapon into an occupied dwelling or vehicle. This all connected to a series of shootings along I-40 and Southwest Raleigh this week. 1 woman was hurt, 8 cars and 4 homes were shot at between Monday and Thursday. Sky 5 captured this video as more than 24 officers arrested Graney in a Southwest Raleigh neighborhood. Another man was taken into custody. He was later released and wasn't charged. Graney is scheduled to appear in court this afternoon at 1:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh. And NC State students received a wolf alert after 2 cars were hit by the gunfire yesterday. It happened very close to NC State Centennial campus. Students say they feel safer knowing the police have someone in custody now. Some say they took different routes to campus to avoid I-40. Student Maria Smith spoke to WRAL, and she spoke about the reaction to getting the initial alert and now hearing police having a person of interest in custody.
Kind of scared me because that's a pretty serious thing, and my parents are also coming down this weekend, and they have to use I-40, so I sent it to them, and I was terrified. It's very relieving because, I don't have to worry about when my parents come, there's something happening. I have friends who drive, and we're often using the I-40, so it feels a lot better to know that he's away and that I don't have to worry about it anymore.
NC State Police assisted Raleigh police due to the proximity of the shooting to campus. Security on campus was increased while officers patrolled the area. And today campus is back to business as usual. Here's another look at the map of where those 12 shootings happened, though. You can see just how expansive this was. The shootings began on Monday, and throughout the week, people had their cars and homes shot at along I-40 and around Southwest Raleigh. The shootings happened as far east as Centennial Ridgeway and into Cary up to Trinity Road.
Your time is 8:36 this morning. NBC News projects that President-elect Donald Trump won Nevada in the presidential race. That announcement was made around 12:30 this morning. Trump lost the state in both of his previous runs for the White House. This is the first time since 2004 that a Republican has won Nevada. The state went to George W. Bush that year.
This morning, the race for control of the U.S. House is getting closer. This is a live look at the Capitol building this morning, where Republicans and Democrats are waiting to learn who will be leading the House come January. As of this morning, 24 House races are still left to be decided. NBC News has called 211 races for Republicans and 200 for Democrats. A party needs to win 218 seats to have control of the House. Republicans are hoping to have control of both chambers. They took the Senate in Tuesday's election.
Josh Stein announced the team that will help him transition to the governor's mansion. Stein defeated Mark Robinson in the governor's race on Tuesday. And Stein's team includes the Department of Justice Chief of Staff, the mayor of Asheville, a former state senator, and others. And you can read the full list over at WRAL.com.
This morning, Durham Public Schools will break ground on the new Durham School of the Arts. The new school will be built on Duke Homestead Road. That's near Stadium Drive. Last year, the district approved $240 million to move the school there from its current downtown location. Officials say that it would actually be cheaper to build a new site than to renovate the current building. The groundbreaking will happen at 9:30 this morning.
Starting tonight, a ramp onto I-440 is closing for construction work. That ramp from Melbourne Road onto 440 East will close at 9 o'clock tonight. Teams plan to have it closed for about 9 days as they work to build a new entrance ramp. It'll be closed until 5 a.m. on Monday, November 18th. Drivers will be detoured onto Powell Road to get onto 440 at Western Boulevard.
Oh, this is the best kind of football. The Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals played a thriller on Thursday Night Football. Lamar Jackson threw 4 touchdowns. The last was this short pass to Rashad Bateman with just under 2 minutes left to put the Ravens up by 7. Joe Burrow drove the Bengals back down the field and threw his 4th touchdown to Jamar Chase to get the Bengals within 1 point. Instead of playing for overtime, the Bengals tried to win it with a 2-point conversion. And as you can see, that pass from Burrow fell incomplete. Ravens get the win 35-34.
Was it worth it? WRAL and Fox 50 are your homes for NFL football this Sunday. First at 1 o'clock on Fox 50, the 49ers travel to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. Then at 7, turn over to WRAL for Football Night in America. On Sunday Night Football, the Houston Texans will host the Detroit Lions and kick off for that game, 8:15. Oh boy, a very close call for DOT employees on a New York highway. You see that? All this recorded. The warning to drivers after a box truck plowed into the worker's vehicle.
My goodness. And a touching tribute from the daughter of Quincy Jones. How actress Rashida Jones is honoring her father after his passing.
Getting you a live look outside this morning at Chapel Hill. It's a little laggy on that camera there. That's all right. Maybe someone will set that and make it go a little bit there. But still, people out and about, a little active on this day. Yes, it looks cloudy. Yes, we've seen some fog. But Elizabeth, I know things are clearing out, but there's still that dense fog advisory.
There is still the dense fog advisory. We're not really seeing fog per se, but we are seeing a lot of low cloud cover out there. We take a look at our visibility, and it's 1 mile in the Triangle. It's 5 miles in Goldsboro, 5 miles in Clinton, and we have seen a good bit of low cloud cover start to drift across the area or develop across the region. We started off this morning with a little patchy fog and then a lot of sunshine. And now, as we're starting to warm things up, that warmth is helping to turn a lot of that moisture into some low clouds. Now, as we get into the afternoon, most likely we'll see the clouds breaking up right after lunchtime. We should see more sunshine. And with the front coming through, maybe a tiny shower rolls through, but our chances for rain today really minimal. We take a live look down Fayetteville Street. This is a look from our Jimmy V camera. Cloudy skies right now, a little breezy down Fayetteville Street. It is warm out there, though. Temperatures well above normal this morning, 67 with a dew point of 65. So it probably feels a little bit like September out there, not necessarily summer, but there's definitely a good bit of moisture in the atmosphere, and it's a warm one. 80 degrees for the high this afternoon, 79 in Durham, 83 in Fayetteville. Near a record high. That 80 degrees will tie our previous record at RDU, which was set back in 1986. And in Fayetteville, we're just 1 degree from that record. So close to records all across the viewing area. Beautiful in Buxton there on the Outer Banks. colleague, Gary Holzman, sent us this photo of a fisherman out there enjoying that sunrise or sunset. So pretty. Kind of tough to see that here right now with some of the cloud cover. Lots of moisture in the atmosphere, almost in the steamy zone. Tomorrow, it'll feel much more comfortable. It'll feel like fall, temperatures in the 60s, a drop in humidity. But Sunday and Monday, we're going to bump it back up because of the potential for rain in the forecast. We're not likely to see another 80-degree day in the next 7 days. And even looking beyond that, our temperatures look like they're going to settle back a little closer to normal. Our normal high is 66, and that's what we'll see tomorrow, 68 on Sunday, and then keeping things a little cooler from Monday and Tuesday, too. Feeling comfortable for Football Friday. This evening, temperatures will be dropping into the 70s at the start of the games and then on into the 60s, and we'll see partly cloudy skies. A beautiful day tomorrow, sunny, crisp, and cool. If you're tailgating ahead of the game at NC State, Duke is playing there, 3:30. Temperatures will be in the 60s, so just feeling really nice. Checking the 7-day forecast. We do have a chance for some rain late Sunday into the day on Monday. Monday, of course, is Veterans Day, so keep that in mind as you're making your Veterans Day plans. And then we're cool next week with highs still in the 60s, Ken.
Elizabeth, a major update to the breaking news we've been following here in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're talking about this crash here on I-440 eastbound at Glenwood Avenue. We're getting reports from our crew on the scene that crash has cleared in the last 10, 15 minutes or so, but we're still seeing the lingering delays there on the belt line, those eastbound lanes near Glenwood Avenue. It's moving rather slowly, but as you can tell, but tow trucks have left the scene. According to our crew, the police officers have cleared that scene, and eventually that lingering delay that we've been seeing right now will eventually clear up, as you can see from our live traffic sensors. There's another crash here in the left lane, was blocked there on I-87 in the southbound lanes right there at New Hope Road. It's causing quite a bit of a slowdown there this morning. Right now, you can see that at least 2 or 3 vehicles are involved. Raleigh police are there on the scene. Initially, it was being pushed into the median, but you can see they're using at least a little bit of that inner lane this morning. So this backup is stretching all the way back to Hodge Road. You're coming in from Nidale this morning. Just exit on Smithfield Road, get over to Pool Road. That will get you to avoid what's happening there in these 87 southbound lanes. If you're heading out this morning, tune us in on the radio. We've got you covered. 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the Triangle.
All right, thanks, Ken. Black Americans across the country say they are getting racist texts. Some believe they are connected to the results of the election. Social media sites have been flooded with people who say they've gotten these messages. The messages say they've been chosen to be slaves on the nearest plantation and gives a time when they will be picked up.
I think that this is intentional to scare people of color, Black people, into a reality that we don't want to go back to.
The FBI is investigating the origin of the messages.
A former pastor in Myrtle Beach was arrested for assault and battery. This happened days after the FBI searched his home, and that was months after the death of his wife. 45-year-old John Paul Miller was charged with third-degree assault and battery. This involved confrontation with a protester. There were protesters in regard to this whole story. Actually, Miller gained national attention after his wife, Micah Miller, died by suicide in April. The case had nationwide interest because of allegations her husband abused her before her death.
We'll take a look at this. Wow. Video from New York State shows a box truck plowing into a worker's truck in a highway work zone. This happened on Interstate 81. The worker who was standing nearby narrowly escaping there. The New York DOT says there were no serious injuries, thank goodness, but it says this video should serve as a reminder to stay alert, slow down, and move over if possible when you are driving through a work zone.
All right, I don't know how you could be bored this weekend. There's a lot to do. Holiday markets, comedy, foodie festivals.
There's a lot happening, Chris. Let's start with the classic flea market that has been a tradition for over 50 years. The Raleigh market is reopening this weekend at the fairgrounds. It's one of the largest flea markets in the Southeast, and it was on a month-long break while the state fair was underway. You can find everything from antiques to crafts to furniture and homemade items. And now that we're nearing the holidays, you can find some really good gifts for friends and family. It's open every Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 5.
NC Comic-Con is happening at the Durham Convention Center on West Morgan Street. You can check that out tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm sure there will be a lot of good cosplays.
And two famous comedians are making stops in the Triangle this weekend. Tonight and tomorrow, Chris Redd will be performing at Raleigh Improv, and Sarah Silverman will be performing at the Deepak tonight. Tickets are still available, and for more on these events and others happening this weekend, you can head to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
And Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. I want to give you a little bit of a glimpse into Beaufort, North Carolina. Just a beautiful morning here in North Carolina. But you want to get in the holiday spirit? Come on over here with me and take a look at this, because this is Pikes Peak, Colorado, okay? And they are in the middle of a winter storm warning that is happening there right now. Snow is falling, and all of the southern Rockies are in their third full day of this severe winter warning. It's already dropped over a foot of snow, and in the mountains it is projected to have a foot of snow in the Denver metro area as well. The governor there has declared a disaster emergency in some places. As this looks so pretty, they are expecting feet in the eastern part of Colorado. And Friday and Saturday, they're going to continue with the weather alerts as these storm winter warnings continue to remain in effect all throughout the weekend there. What a scene.
Yeah, very different than what you showed us there from Beaufort. Thank you, Jeff. The famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is on its way to New York City. The 74-foot tall tree was cut down in West Stockbridge, Massachusetts yesterday. Carolers dressed as elves sang Christmas songs to send out the tree in style. Michelle cannot wait to go see this in person. She loves a good New York tree. She's from there. Michael Albert planted that tree 67 years ago, and he says he is glad it will bring joy to so many people this year.
If you've never seen it, go see it. It is incredible. Amazing. In Rockefeller Center. Yeah. All right, well, Rashida Jones, she's speaking out for the first time since the death of her father, Quincy Jones. In a heartfelt tribute posted to Instagram, Rashida called the music legend a giant, icon, and culture shifter. The Parks and Recreation actress said that she joined him on many occasions as he composed music. She added that he made everyone feel loved and seen, and that his legacy will live on. Quincy worked with a host of stars, including Frank Sinatra and Michael Jackson. He died on Monday at the age of 91.
In just 2 hours, this year's Grammy nominations will be announced. That is happening live on the Recording Academy's YouTube page. That is at 10:45. If industry predictions are correct, the 2025 Grammy Awards shaping up to be Ladies' Night. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish, and Chappell Roan are behind some of the year's biggest albums. And it's possibly that some of these women, or even all of them, could be named to multiple categories. The Grammy Awards are scheduled for February 2nd. The CMAs have announced the first round of performers. Plus, Jack Black is taking on a very different kind of holiday movie. Here's Ashley Dvorkin.
Ho, ho, frickin' ho!
Black unleashes holiday havoc. Nolan celebrates Interstellar, and country music stars align in the Hollywood nation.
Oh my, good Lord.
The 58th annual CMA Awards revealed the first round of performers. The lineup features first-time nominees, including Post Malone, who has 4 nods, as well as new artist and single of the year nominee Shabuzi. Chris Stapleton, Ashley McBride, and co-hosts Lainey Wilson and Luke Bryan will also perform. Wilson and Bryan are emceeing the ceremony along with Peyton Manning. Live from Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, November 20th on ABC.
Potentially habitable worlds right within our reach.
Christopher Nolan's 2014 space epic Interstellar is heading back to theaters. The filmmaker has set a 1-week exclusive IMAX re-release of the intergalactic adventure, starting December 6th in honor of the film's 10th anniversary. The star-studded cast includes Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway, playing space travelers searching for a habitable planet after Earth begins to deteriorate.
To Santa.
Jack Black shows his devilish side in today's First Looks. Paramount Plus released the trailer for the Christmas comedy Dear Santa, starring Black as Satan and Robert Timothy Smith as a young boy who summons the Prince of Darkness when he accidentally mails him his Christmas wish list. The film will start streaming November 25th.
I tried everything. That kid's incorruptible.
That's going to be really, really funny. I love it. All right, before we go to break, here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.